Hi everybody, this is Leia, the coordinator for Show and Sale for 2021 to 2022, and I'm here today to talk about inventory variations. As you know, Show and Sale artists who wish to use variations must go through this workshop and get department rep permission before they can start using it on their inventory sheets. So first of all, what is a variation? A variation on a product it means a different choice of color or size, texture, design, you name it. A great example would be if you were to go onto Nike's online store and you can see all their different shoes, but you can select a different size for the shoes that you want. So we use a very similar process here at Show and Sale. The only thing with variations is that they are a bit more difficult to create, and it's important that you create them with customers in mind, so that's why we have this workshop in place. So to help prepare you for it, I've already unlocked this entire worksheet, so I have full access to it, and I've put in a couple of potential examples for what you can use variations for. It's important to keep in mind with Show and Sale that even though you may have variations for a single product, it means that everything is going to be the exact same price. So therefore, if you've got prints that are small, medium, large, but you want them to be different prices, such as the cottagecore prints down here, 4x6 and 8x10, I want them to be at $25 versus $40. I cannot use a variation for it. I have to make them separate products. Other than that, as long as the prices remain the same, you can turn your products into variations whenever. So let's start off with first this glass bird paperweight. So when you use variations, you can have up to 3 in Show and Sale, and it's also really good practice to mention in your product description that you have different types of variations available. For example, for the glass bird paperweight, cute little glass birds that come in 3 exciting colors, perfect for your kitchen table or to display in a bright windowsill. So that gives the customer a cue to say, okay, it's actually available in several different colors that I can buy. So it's just really good to have that somewhere in your listing description to either list out what your different variations are or to offer, say, hey, I've got 2 variations or 3 variations of this. So next, moving on, I've already completed the medium in all of these. I'm not actually going to enter in the product stocked right now, as we will get to that later, but I have settled on a solid retail price, and just for the bird paperweight, because I have it handy, I know exactly what the dimensions are, and it does not change for my little glass birds. So now we're ready to start using variations. So let's go all the way to the right. As you can see, our variations area lines up precisely with each of the 30 different individual listings available here. So you can see here that we have variation 1. So this is what your variation will be called, and then your variation 1 stock, which is the number of items in stock you have for that variation. So I mentioned over here that my glass birds come in 3 exciting colors, and those colors would be green, blue, and red. Next, I need to figure out how many of each color do I have for my variations. So let's say I have 4 green birds and 7 blue birds and 2 red birds, which leads to a total of 13 birds. Then after I calculate that, I can enter in the total product stock here, so 13. Again, one more time. So if I have 4 green birds, 7 blue birds, and 2 red birds, that means I have 13 in stock total, which goes in this category here. So make sure you check up on that. And afterwards, once I've done this, I gotta email my department rep to let them know that I'm ready with my variation, and it needs to get approved here before we upload it onto the site. If it doesn't get approved, we'll let you know why, and we'll help you try to figure it out. Alright, so that's just one example of using colors as variations. Next, we're going to go into a little bit of jewelry. So especially for those who are making rings, you have a lot of sizes to deal with. And while we won't be able to accommodate 7 different kinds of sizes in one go, what you can do with our maximum of 3 variations is actually split it up into 2 separate listings. For example, geometric ring small, available in sizes 4 and 5, versus geometric ring large, available in sizes 6, 7, and 8. So that actually splits it up so that we can have maximum free variations per listing, but also gives the customer an idea of what kinds of sizes are available. So if we were to go over here into the variations page and fill this out properly, it would be, for the small size, size 4 and size 5. And how many of size 4 do I have in stock? Let's just do one of each, just to make it nice and easy. That way I could put 2 over here. For the large ones, we have size 6, size 7, oops, and size 8. Same thing, let's just do one of each for the sake of expediency. And put the total here as free total in stock. So that's how you can use it potentially for ring sizes or for other jewelry related variations. Now let's take a look at design variations. This gets a little tricky. Depending on what you want, we may or may not be able to approve it as a variation. But for example, if you had a product listing named Insect Lover Ceramic Cup, and your description says, great handmade cups that feature bees, butterflies, and ants. Choose a design that you love best. And you made sure that you were comfortable having all of these different designs as one retail price, then you can absolutely turn this into a variation. So, as I mentioned here, we have bees, butterflies, and ants. So let's write that in. Bees, butterflies, and ants. And let's just do 5 of the bees, 3 of the butterflies, and 2 of the ants, which leads us to a total of 10 product stock over here. Following along okay? Alright, so that's examples of using variations for colors, ring sizes, and designs. Next, we have some stuff within Fibre and especially wearables that could come into play if you need to use variations. For example, this one is an indigo dyed scarf. Perfect scarf for springtime. This hand-dyed scarf comes in small and large sizes. So remember, just like shoes, instead of having, a size 4 shoe be, I don't know, $50, but then a size 7 shoe be $90, it doesn't make sense that way. In some cases, wearables, no matter what size they are, can be the same retail price. And this is one of those cases where a small scarf and a large scarf do have, different dimensions. However, it also does help to have a variation for that. So let's go do it. So both small and large scarves will be $50. And if you go over here, we'll do small and then large. However, if you keep an eye on the instructions over here, it says that if you are using size variations, you've got to include dimensions, with the exception of jewelry sizes. So our small scarf is, let's say, 40 inches by 10 inches. And our large scarf is 60 inches by 10 inches. So make sure to include that in unless you are using something like ring size. And let's say we have 3 small scarves and 5 big scarves, leading us up to a total of 8 in stock. And as I mentioned at the start of it, there are times where you cannot use variations, or you probably really shouldn't, such as in the case of prints. While the size variations works for scarves and other wearables, it doesn't work for prints, especially if you want them to be at different retail prices. So make sure you keep that in mind. Even though this does fill up your inventory sheet more, it's better to err on the side of caution, especially when using size variants, than confuse your customer by putting it into a variation. And of course, at the end of the day, variations cannot be uploaded unless the department rep approves of it. So make sure that you get this nice approval sticker, and we'll let you know if there's any problems, or if we recommend that something gets turned into a variation, or vice versa, a variation turns into another listing. And there you have it. That is how you use variations in your inventory sheet for Show and Sale 2021 to 2022.